Howdy cowpokes, and welcome back to the Dead Quartermaster channel. Today, we will be recreating the winter field dress uniform for the U.S. Army Buffalo Soldiers during the Indian Wars in 1866-1890. The previous video covered the Buffalo Cavalry Troopers, however, this one will cover the 24th and 25th Infantry Regiments. Fighting all year round meant that the Buffalo Soldiers on the western frontier found themselves in temperatures as low as 50 below zero, recorded during the winter of 1876-1877. Soldiers started to use their own initiative by buying civilian clothing or using captured clothing to cope with the cold, and it wasn't until around 1875 that it was officially recommended that a buffalo skin overcoat be adopted. This new buffalo overcoat was to replace the regulation blanket-lined greatcoat after the Quartermaster General of the Army initiated a survey of the current uniform being provided to the soldiers. This was because the greatcoat did not offer sufficient protection against the extreme winter climate. On the right, we can see a perfect historical picture showing the buffalo coat and how its length reached as far as the ankles. What's unique about this uniform is that the jacket did not come out of the soldier's pay, but was instead rented and had to be handed back to the quartermaster for maintenance once the winter season was over. Unfortunately, due to hunting of the buffalo, these jackets did not remain part of the uniform for long, and soon an alternative had to be found. We can hunt buffalo in the game, however, we cannot use its materials for crafting. For this reason, we will be using the bear jacket you can craft with Gus, as it has the closest resemblance. Looking back at the first picture, we can see a close-up of the gloves worn by the soldiers. Some of these will have also been made of buffalo hide, while others will be of government-issued muskrat gloves. Since we can't craft muskrat gloves, I will be using the Oscroft gloves instead to replicate this. The government also provided hats to go along with the buffalo jackets. Originally, these hats were made of muskrat, but were found to fall apart, so seal fur was used instead. The image on the right shows an original worn by the 10th Cavalry, which would have been similar to the ones issued to the 24th and 25th. Again, we can hunt muskrat in game, but can't use them for crafting. Because of this, I will be using the Sobol hat to replicate it. Now let's create the outfit, using clothing that closely resembles the items previously mentioned. First, we will start with our basic buffalo soldier from the previous video, but making some minor changes from cavalry to infantry. Again, if you don't have the frontiersman shirt, then I would recommend the blue work shirt. For the buckle, we will be picking the Job Seeker belt buckle, as it's closest to resembling the brass U.S. square belt buckle 1872 pattern. Again, we will pick the agency belt to resemble the 1874 pattern leather belt. Clerk pants again with the sky blue color. Interestingly, sky blue was later changed to a darker blue once the surplus dye from the Civil War started to run out. Boots have been changed from the cavalry boots to the stovepipe boots, and spurs will not be added this time. If you're not going to be wearing chaps, then stick with the millwright boots. Once we have the basics of our buffalo soldier, we can now start adding in the winter additions. First, we will add the Merbe coat that we recently crafted from Gus. Again, it's up to you which color variation you decide to go for. Next up, we will be adding the gloves. I'm pretty sure these gloves are from an outlaw pass. So if you have any other suggestions, then let me know in the comments. Ideally, the belt would sit underneath the jacket, but there's nothing we can do to change that. Now, if you remember the first picture, there was numerous hats worn by the soldiers, so it's up to you if you want to leave the Union hat or switch to something warmer. There's two decent color options for the Sobol hat. and I went for a lighter one like seal fur. Chaps were not an official part of the uniform, but soldiers did make their own chaps or tuck their trouser legs into their socks or boots. Because of this, it's entirely up to you if you want to have the pants tucked into the boots or not.
Thanks for watching. If you like this content, then please support the channel by subscribing and spreading the word. If you have any suggestions, then let me know in the comments.